Chapter 9. Day 4, 2:40 p.m. "He's alive!" Luke exclaimed with relief. He cupped his hands to his mouth. Will! Charla grabbed his arm. "Not so loud," she warned. "There are killers on this island." "There's another reason we have to find him," Luke retorted. "Before they go." They listened breathlessly, birdsong, chirping of insects. "Come on, Will," called Luke, a little lower this time. "We know you're out there." Nothing. And then, barely audible, amid the sounds of the jungle, a far-off human voice. "It's coming from over there," chorused the three castaways. They regarded one another in dismay. They were pointing in three different directions. Luke checked the sneaker print. It was headed to their left. This way. He started off leading the others. It was pure guesswork, Luke thought. Any other footprints were covered by heavy underbrush. In his mind, In his mind, he kept an image of the direction of Will's sneaker tread and tried to follow it like a compass needle. Not that it was possible to stay on course in this tangle of greenery, but when you have only one clue, you follow it. "Please, Will," Charla tried to make her quiet voice carry. They trudged on, searching for any sign of human life. A broken branch, a trampled fern, a torn vine, but nothing stood out. And then Ian found another footprint. "You're right," exclaimed Charla. "Two of them," she stared. "Uh-oh. What's wrong?" asked Luke. "If this is Will," she said slowly, "he's got two different sized feet." Ian knelt. "And two different shoes." He looked up at Luke. "This is two people." Luke drew in his breath sharply. "Are you sure?" Charla began to tremble. "The men from the plane," she breathed. "It's not Will, it's them." Ian frowned. But what are they doing all the way over here?" "I don't care if they're on an Easter egg hunt," put in Luke. "We've got to get out of here before they come back." And then, just the tiniest crack. They froze and listened. It was the swishing and snapping of people walking through the jungle. Luke mouthed the words, "Get down." And the three dropped, trying to disappear into the dense underbrush. The swishing was louder now. The men were close. Luke tried to catch a glimpse of them, but he didn't dare move for fear of being spotted. Where were they? Since there was no trail, it was impossible to predict what path someone might take. Suddenly, a flash of a red shirt. Luke's breath caught in his throat. Just a few feet away, the killers were walking straight at them. It was too late to run. Luke rolled to his right in a desperate attempt to avoid the stepping foot. Horrified, he felt the sneaker catch him on the shoulder. "Hey!" came a voice from above. A split second later, the figure was tumbling into the underbrush behind him. The jig was up. They were caught. Luke didn't think. He just reacted. In a single motion, he grabbed a rock and jumped upright, aiming at the back of the intruder's blonde head. "One move and you're dead," he hissed. Ian picked up the sunglasses that had fallen off the prisoner as he tripped. They were strangely familiar. Sleek and silver, designer frames. He flashed Luke the earpiece. On it was engraved, "Jonathan Lane, the toast of London. P.S." Luke's eyes bulged. These glasses belonged to J.J. Lane, their shipmate from the Phoenix. There was no mistaking them. They were one of a kind, originally given to J.J.'s father, movie star Jonathan Lane, by Paul Smith, the fashion designer. Luke dropped his rock. "J.J.?" he barely whispered. The actor's son rolled over. "Luke?" "You're alive," cried Charla, throwing herself at J.J. in a joyous embrace. Ian piled on. Luke was slapping backs, shoulders, any surface he could get a hand on. All at once, he stopped celebrating and grabbed J.J. by the shirt. "Lysa?" "Relax." And then a familiar voice said, "Do you think these are, real bananas?" Lysa Greenfield stepped into view, a bunch of finger bananas in her arms. She gasped at the four of them rolling around the underbrush. Dumbstruck, she grappled for words. "But you're dead," she gasped finally. "You're dead," Luke shot back, laughing with relief. "Man, what happened to you guys?" asked JJ. "You look like coal miners." It took Lysa a few seconds to do a head count and realize who was missing. "Where's my brother?" "Don't panic," Charla said quickly. "He's not dead. At least he wasn't 3 days ago." "Why isn't he with you?" she demanded, her voice shrill. "He ran away from us," Luke explained. "He doesn't remember us. He doesn't remember the trip. He thinks he's lost on Guam, and it's all our fault." She was shocked. "He's gone crazy?" "Amnesia," Ian supplied. "He's lost his memory." "Just the last couple of weeks of it," Luke replied. "He remembers you. He kept asking us, 'What have you done with my sister?' Almost like we kidnapped you or something. He thinks the Phoenix is marooned at a marina around here, and he has to get you and report for charting a new course." "I saw a show about it once," added Ian. Sorry, guys, I have a cough. "Called Paranoid Delusion. We've got to find him," Lysa said urgently. "I can't make him remember." Charla put a reassuring arm on her shoulder. "We'll keep looking. But it's hard to find someone who doesn't want to be found." Lysa blinked back tears. "But you haven't seen him for 3 days. He could be dead." Sorry, I'm going off camera to take a quick drink. I'm coming back. Okay. "Or he could just be avoiding us," Luke pointed out. "That would be good news. It means he's alive and alert." "Can he really survive all by himself on this island?" she asked dubiously. Luke spread his arms wide. "Can he? He has what we have. This is pretty much nothing. Except the supplies on the lifeboat," put in JJ. "Lifeboat?" Charla repeated. "The inflatable raft," JJ explained. "That's how we got away from the boat when it sank. It's still in the little cove where we washed ashore. We've been living in it." "How did you guys get here?" asked Lysa. "On a piece of cabin top the size of a postage stamp," Charla explained. "One of us had to hang over the side or we'd capsize. You were lucky." "Hey," the actor's son interrupted sharply. "I could be in LA right now, surrounded by fast cars, hot tubs, and chicks. Chicks, chicks. Don't lecture me on how I haven't suffered enough." "No fighting," ordered Luke. "We're all in this together, right? We're scared, we're worried about Will, and we're all sick of coconuts and bananas." JJ and Lysa looked completely blank. "Maybe you've been eating durians," put in Ian. "We're hungry, not crazy," Charla mumbled distastefully. "We've been eating what's in the boat," said Lysa. "You know, the freeze-dried survival meals, chicken and mashed potatoes, beef stew, chili." Luke looked so genuinely ravenous that even Lysa had to laugh. "Put your tongue back in your head. We've only got one left, mac and cheese. That's why we're out in the jungle, looking for food." "I love mac and cheese," piped up Ian. His face fell. "But I guess we should save it for a special occasion." JJ stared at him. "Special occasion? We're in the middle of nowhere. Remember how nowhere we were on the boat? Well, this was the Sunset Strip compared to here. What special occasions are we going to have? National Cockroach the size of a Volkswagen Day?" Luke was thoughtful. "How about Raft Moving Day? The lifeboat is too easy to spot out on a beach. We should move it to the cover of the trees." But being spotted is the whole point, argued Lysa. How are we going to get rescued if nobody can see us? Solemnly, Luke filled in the newcomers about the murder they'd witnessed and the body that was washed up on the beach. It's a real jam, he finished. If rescuers don't find us, we'll die here. But if we make ourselves visible enough to get rescued, these guys will spot us first, and they'll kill us. It's got to be because I'm outside with all this lovely pollen. Will, Lysa said nervously, they'd kill him too. And he probably doesn't even know they're out there. JJ spoke up. Doesn't anybody else see this as kind of fishy? The boat sinks. We're stranded. Murderers on the island. I mean, whose luck is this bad? It even happens to rich people, Charla told him resentfully. It's fake, JJ scoffed. I'd say we're still on charting a new course, and all this has happened to us on purpose. The boat sank because it was supposed to sink. You know, a trick boat. The special effect guys who work on my dad's movies, they could rig something like that in a heartbeat. Everybody groaned. This had been JJ's theory from the beginning. The whole point of this trip is to make us forget what a bunch of losers we are and force us to work as a team, he went on. Well, it's happening. These so-called criminals, they could be actors hired by CNC. They're just another test for us, and we're falling for it, man. We're performing like a bunch of trained seals. You're disgusting, JJ Lane, Lysa snapped at him. My poor brother could be dying this minute. That's even more evidence that I'm right, JJ interrupted. Will got a little too messed up, so they stepped in, scooped him out of the game. He's probably watching us on hidden camera right now, eating a steak and laughing his butt off. That was a real murder we saw, Luke said darkly. It was definitely a real dead body. JJ shrugged. When my dad was doing this horror flick, he once brought home a fake, disembodied hand from the prop room. It looked so real that my stepmom, number 3, she practically had a heart attack. You know, it almost doesn't matter, Ian said thoughtfully. Whether it's a setup or not, we're still shipwrecked, and we have to survive. Except CNC won't let us die, JJ reminded him. There are exactly 2 reasons why we're not dead, said Luke grimly. Dumb luck and coconuts. And the luck ran out when that plane landed. It doesn't get any scarier than that.